Hi, everybody. All right, so I have been away for a hot minute and I apologize for that, but I am back. As I promised you guys, I will wind up doing 2 winners this week because I didn't get one done last week. So anytime that happens, I always make it up the next week. So look for that in the next day or two. Okay, I'll be doing 2 different winners. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, what I mean is in this series of readings, the ones that I call my today's topic videos, you can always enter to win a free read with me just by writing the word compassion in the comment section, by being a subscriber to my channel, by giving this video a thumbs up. So you guys can enter every single day if you are watching this every single day, and then I always choose one winner each week. Well, last week I didn't get a chance to do that because I've got some big life changes happening in my private world. So in any case, I am back, and so sometime this week, probably in the next possibly the day after tomorrow, I'll be doing 2 winners, and I always do the free reading right at the tail end of one of these videos. Okay, so anyway, now let's begin, shall we? So this is going to be a today's topic reading. This is actually going to be for the 19th, and then almost immediately after this at midnight, I will be putting out one for the 20th. So I always like to put these out a little bit in advance because obviously we're all in different time zones, and I don't assume that everyone watching is in my time zone. So I always put them out a little bit in advance. So let's just see what we get. So this is for the 19th. We have got 6 cards now. And hold on, let me look at this for just a moment because we've got some major changes happening here. Somebody got tired of the party life. Somebody got tired of, I think that they got tired of blocking things first off. We have the Page of Swords in the reverse. Next to this, we have the 4 of Coins in the reverse. Next to this, we have that 9 of Cups in the reverse, which is why I'm saying, to me, this looks like the fun has run out for somebody. Homesick for Hills, awesome. You're in bright pink also. Very cool. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I just like to say hi to those of you that are hanging out with me right now. That's awesome. No, but our lead character so far, I feel like whatever they've been up to, it's not fun anymore. The silence, the pouty behavior, the attitude, either we're done with somebody. This could even be like if we were watching somebody on social media, we're like, I could care less. I'm not even going to look at them anymore. This gives me no joy. I think that someone, if they were living an indulgent life, it's not making them happy. If we watched them and we saw them living a certain way, we're like, I can tell that that's not actually even bringing them happiness, and watching them is certainly not good for me. So I'm letting this whole thing go. But I feel like this is not like a voyeur watching somebody. I feel like this is one person who is realizing that this silent attitude that I've had, I hate the way I've been behaving. I'm not happy. And if I've been trying to mask things, if our lead character has been out there trying to act like, hey, life's so good. No, it isn't. And I feel like they're dropping the act. That's what it looks like to me. I feel like this whole attitude that they've had has been quite a facade. We've got Ace of Swords, this is a moment of truth. Brings up that whole 5 of Wands, which is like, now what do I do? Now that I'm facing the truth, we have the Death card after that. So here's our major arcana, right? And we just have 1 so far. Scorpio energy. The fun has run out on this person's attitude, the life they were living, and they are so aware of it. But then it's like, so what do I do now? What do I do now? Now that I know this is not the way I want to behave, it's bringing me no joy. Pretending I'm fine, pretending I don't want to talk to the person I care about. I want to drop the act. I want to quit holding back. I want to quit acting like my life is so great without you. Well, now what do I do now that I know that's my truth? Now they're stuck in their head thinking it over. And the result, or the answer here is, well, knock it off. I mean, I'm sorry, that's super rude, but it's like, if you don't like the way you've been acting, knock it off. I mean, that's what this card is saying to our lead character. Quit pretending that you're fine without the person that you love. Quit pretending you're living it up. You haven't had any fun since they've been out of your life. So why pretend like you don't want to talk to them when you do? Why fake like you're happy when you're not? If this person, the games that they've played have only been on themselves, because if they've been faking their own happiness when they haven't been happy at all, whose life did they put into turmoil? their own, right? So this person is like, they're having the coming to Jesus moment here with that Ace of Swords. Like, wow, what have I done? Why have I been acting like that? And I would question that also. Why would they act like that? Why did they do that? Queen of Swords in the reverse, King of Cups in the reverse, because you didn't want me, you got mad at me, so I reacted by saying, well, I don't love you. So we had a matched pair, a king and a queen, both of which are in the reverse. I'm stagnant, I'm not opening up, I'm not giving love. She either said, you've crossed my boundaries, I don't appreciate it, and I got nothing nice to say to you. But this is why all this happened. This is why somebody spiraled into the attitude of like, well, I'm so good without you, blah, 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 even though none of that was ever true. But this was the reason they acted this way. That it's because it was like a knee-jerk reaction when something went wrong between these two in a relationship. What happened? I hate to ask. King of Swords in the upright. Well, this now wait, because King and Queen are here now, right? King of Swords in the upright, though, is wonderful. Hold on. We got to get another card on that. Oh, 10 of Swords. Wait a minute. So someone called it quits. This could have been one direction or the other. So I'm going to read it in the way I see it. And either this person, our lead character, pulled back their emotions from a Queen of Swords because she said it's over. She shifted into masculine energy here and said, in no uncertain terms, I'm not going to be treated that way. This is done and this is over. And they heard, I'm mad at you and I said something mean to you. When in fact, if they pushed a Queen of Swords to become a King of Swords in the upright and end something, because this is somebody who took action. If that's what happened here, that or they imagined that she met somebody else and so things were over and they told themselves, oh, I bet she ended things with me because she met somebody else that she wants to be with. If that's what somebody had in their head, and so then they acted like, well, whatever, I didn't want you anyway, or I don't want you too. If that's, this just looks like, I don't know if we actually had confusion, or tell me about that King of Swords again. Because the King of Swords was laid down, devil in the reverse. No, I'm going to go ahead and say it the way I see it. To me, it looks like our lead character has been faking that they've been happy and it's not working anymore. And they know that it's not true. And they know that they need to stop acting like this way. But the reason they acted this way in the first place is because they were under the impression that our Queen of Swords got mad at them and said, I don't want to be with you anymore. But in reality, she had to shift into her masculine energy and say, this is over because I'm not dealing with toxic stuff. I'm cutting myself free from this because why did she view it as so toxic then? If that is the interpretation, and that's what I get off of this. And it's simply because we keep seeing the swords, for both the king and the queen. So that's why I'm reading that as actually one person. But it's interesting to see that she shifted into a masculine energy and she took the lead in ending something because she saw them as a liar. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, this is not a lighthearted story right now. So please, if anything ever is upsetting in these, these stories, please do click off. But please remember that these are about fictional characters, right? This is never about anybody's life. I'm not a psychic. I don't tell anybody anything true. So if you are listening, remove emotions from it and only look at this as characters, because it can be more like reflective that way. And again, it's not about any real person. It is always about fictional characters. But we can look at characters' behaviors and go, how would I have done that different? Or, things like that if you're listening for like inspiration. So we have that 7 of Swords. This is what she said. I'm not doing this. I won't have this in my life. So a queen had her boundaries crossed because she wouldn't be lied to. And you cannot lie to her. You cannot lie to this queen and think she's going to sit down and take that. So if that's what they did, And she said, "You're telling me lies. That's toxic. I will not tolerate that. This is over." She stepped into her masculine energy and she commanded this stop. But she really did it by turning her back to them. So, of course, that upset them. So now, well, I'm not giving you my love, my emotion. But what was the lie about? I don't understand. Why was she convinced that she was getting lied to? Thing is, this is where somebody lies and then they kind of hide out and they watch still. You know, you notice how he's tucked away and he's still watching. So this is somebody who was playing games too, running away. Maybe they even wanted to be like feel like she wanted to chase them. They wanted to know that she really wanted them. So they played little games all the while still watching from the side. And she was like, this could have even been somebody who was pretending like they had someone else who wanted them just so that she would feel like, wait a second, so there's competition here? Well, be gone then. We have a Chariot in the reverse and we have a 9 of Wands. This is about the lies. I asked, what are the lies about? We see this person hiding out. I feel like this person was lying about the fact that they like were bluffing, that they didn't really want this relationship, but they wanted her to chase. That's what I get out of this. And instead she was like, no. I mean, Chariot in the reverse is like they were lying about not wanting to move things forward. We have the 9 of Wands here, which is like, you know, that wounded warrior energy where somebody wants to put things back together. But again, we see them laying bait and then hiding away. So I feel like this was a cat and mouse game that blew up in their face because I don't think she was ever playing, but they were. But when someone plays because they need to be made to feel like, now you chase me so that I can see that you really want me, I feel like that didn't go well. I feel like that was, I mean, hopefully nobody ever plays those games. That's not the way it's supposed to go. But this is what happened here, is what it looks like. Okay, so let's go back over to the other side of the story here, where this person has come to this realization that I don't want to pretend like I'm happy. I don't want to stay in silence. I know without a doubt that that's not even how I really feel. So what do I do now? Well, I have to change my behavior. This person might be like growing up. Tell me about that. What are they changing their behavior? What does that mean? The Knight of Wands, we have the Tower in the reverse. So the Death card, the thing that they have to stop doing. If this person had been, you know, they'd rush in and rush out and then hope that somebody would chase them around. Lots of ego stuff that they just were living on pure ego and pure, like, yes, this can be a card of somebody who needs lots of people to be chasing after them. That is the big thing. They can't act like that anymore. This person is aware of that because they lost somebody amazing. Tell me, what are they thinking about that? I'm going to say the King/Queen of Swords. What are they thinking? That's all they do think about. We have the Hermit. This person has gone deep inside themselves because they don't have any choice but to go inside themselves. I feel like if this person was playing games because they wanted to know that this queen really wanted them, and the queen said, "What the heck are you doing? You're acting like a player. I don't deal with players. So we're done." And I feel like she shut them down really fast. I feel like she didn't put up with anything that was fishy. And I feel like that was, they wanted to act like that didn't upset them. But in fact, that has been pretty much a biggest catalyst for them, because they are aware that they don't like the way they've been acting. There's no fun in that. I think they're realizing they had somebody. She wasn't mad. She might have said in no uncertain terms and told this person off and said, "You don't treat people like that. You got no business being around me." Now, does that sound rude? Well, you could say it sounds rude, but it's also, in this case, like her saying it like it is. So that was her stepping into her masculine energy. And they're thinking about it going, wow, that person really has some self-respect. That's somebody who wouldn't tolerate that. She called it like it was. She said, games, lying, absolutely not. I don't deal with that kind of toxic behavior. So it's over now. You can go, because I wouldn't do games with you. You're hiding, you're acting like you want something, acting like you don't. that's it, we're done. And I feel like that was like a major, they had to look at themselves, and they are realizing, I don't think they even know why they were playing those games. I mean, they didn't want to change their ego for a long time, but at this point, they've really looked at themselves. So meeting her has changed them dramatically. Seeing her stand up for herself, even to the point of shifting into her masculine energy to tell them, you need to get lost. She might have, okay, so she might have said something that leveled this person, like as if, like evaluating them for their actions as if she were their complete equal. So say this was a thing between like a man and a woman, but she spoke to them and said, you've behaved in this way. Or say he spoke to her, because it doesn't matter what gender, right? But I'm just trying to say, say this is a woman who said to a man, that's not how a man would behave. A grown man doesn't behave in that way. They don't run, they don't play games, or a grown man said this to a woman, that's not the way a woman behaves. That's the way a little girl behaves, but not the way a woman behaves. A woman knows what she wants and she says it, so whatever was said, I almost feel like it made them have to look at themselves through the eyes of them, as if that was total equal footing, like evaluating someone's behavior and saying, this is who you are, this is how you should behave, but you're behaving like a kid, or you're telling these lies and you're running away and all these things, and I don't deal with that. I expected you to be, who every person should be who's in your era of life. I feel like they were evaluated by this queen. Again, whether it was a masculine or feminine or same-sex couples is irrelevant. But she looked at this person and she may have said it, and that was like, wow, that was really mean. And then they got thinking about it, and it's like, that was so spot on. They actually had to really contemplate their own behavior and say, I have been behaving that way. I've wanted attention like a kid who wants attention. I have been full of ego and I haven't changed that. And now I want to, because this isn't working for me anymore. So I got to say, I think that she did this person a favor by actually saying that's not the way you behave if you're a full-grown adult. Five of Swords, they were not ready to hear that at that point. No wonder they went silent. No wonder then they were like, well, I don't need to hear those words. So they pushed that away, which is comical only because she's the one who already ended things with them, right? But then they acted like, well, I'm not going to talk to you, and I'm going to run away from you and stay away, and you're going to see I'm so happy in my life. But all that behavior, it didn't actually make them happy at all. So they were super defensive about words that somebody said, acting like they were cutting her off when she was the one who cut them off for their behavior. I feel like this is just now sinking in for this person. Like, oh my God, I was so defensive. Like, I'm going to ignore that person who said those things to me. But what that person said is, you can't be around me because you don't act like a respectable, behaving adult. That's the thing, that it's sinking in now for this person. They're realizing, dang, they were spot on, and they ended this with me because I wasn't behaving well. This person doesn't like the way they were behaving anymore. Okay, so what happens with them? I mean, this is a wonderful story of like growth and transformation so far. High Priestess, Four of Swords. A lot of additional silent time, a lot of additional like time for this person to really reflect. We see them in a very reflective stage. I feel like if things ended because this queen had to step into her masculine energy, had to end things with them, and then all that silence happened, first they were like, well, whatever, I'm going to live it up. And then that got really old, and it really sunk in what had been said to them. And then they've been silent, not because they don't want to talk to that queen anymore, but because they've really had to work on themselves, which is wonderful to see. Tell me about the High Priestess, though, because I do think that there was overcompensation in this person's behavior. Like, the reason they needed more validation, the reason they, played little games to see, how much do you want me? It could have had a lot to do with whatever actually needed to be healed inside of them. So that high priestess, we just got the King of Wands in the upright. This person, what is unknown is that this person actually has a really warm heart. They actually do. So is this one of those stories where they've always wanted somebody that would love them and that they could feel safe opening up to, but they didn't know how to do that? So instead, they've been playing all kinds of games, wanting someone to show them that it would be safe enough for them to open up. But instead, they pushed away somebody that was like a really great person. And then they got mad at that person for saying, "What are you doing with these games? You're not doing this with me. Go away." Only to then have to sit in that, stew in that energy for a while and be like, that person was spot on. I was playing games because I wanted to give my whole heart, but I didn't feel safe to do it. So I kind of feel like this is actually looking like this person is a good person. They're stepping into like owning the fact that if they played games to get somebody's attention, it was because all along they wanted to open up and give their whole heart, but they didn't know how to feel safe about that. So what we've seen is a person who has been out of their wounded energy. They were playing a lot of games, but the person they were playing with was like, what are you doing? I kind of like the fact that this is taking this turn, because it's like, who hasn't made mistakes in their lives, right? Who hasn't thought back on their own behavior and been like, I can't believe I acted so immature. Like, the very thing I wanted was the very thing that I basically sabotaged. And I feel like that's a story that probably every person on earth can identify with at some point in their lives. Well, this person, they're in a whole new energy now, a whole new energy. They're looking at this queen who for a time period they were frustrated with, feeling like she had been mean to them, only to then start to respect them, only to then reflect on their words and realize that is the person I want to marry. That person who wouldn't put up with my games, that person who told me, get lost, you don't act like that, I'm not putting up with that. That is bad behavior any way you slice it, and that is not the way an adult behaves. I feel like although it might have been a harsh sentence that was spoken, I mean, that sounded pretty rude what I just said, right? But I don't feel like that person minced words. I feel like they said it exactly as they saw it. And it was possibly the most effective way to deliver a message to this person, because it sunk in. It allowed them to actually start to even trust that not only was a person, that queen that they dealt with, not only was that queen trustworthy, that queen was like someone who, she's not going to lie for them and she's not going to lie to them. She's exactly who she seemed to be, which is what they were looking for all along. Someone they could feel safe with, someone they could open up to, someone they could be vulnerable with and give their whole heart to. Well, it turns out they're thinking, oh my God, she's actually it. She is the person I've been looking for. The same person who said, I'm not dealing with your games, get lost. And she meant it, because she doesn't do games. That's what they were looking for all along, is someone that they could trust and believe in. They're realizing that that's her. Interesting twist to how they view her, when first it was just, I'm mad at you. And then they're like, but she was spot on. And she's exactly the kind of person I wanted to meet. Got a 9 of coins in the reverse on this, though. So now that they know without a doubt that that's who they want to be vulnerable, open up to, give their heart to, this is the person they want to marry. They're seeing her as an empress now. Now they're saying, but I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. 9 of coins in the reverse. So now they've entered into another phase of like, oh crap. Now what do I do about this? Now I've seen that she's the real deal. Now I realize I was behaving bad. I don't know. This person, we do have the Knight of Cups. They have a desire to come toward her. They definitely do. And this person just might do it, because knights are action takers. It's like they may be thinking, well, I don't have enough to offer her, but at this point, I at least know where I want to go, and not coming in like a player. Hanged man. They're holding back. They know what they want to do. They're not taking action. I get so tired of stories like this, because it's like, oh my gosh, come on, characters. We got one life. Are we really gonna? We're really going to read about how long we're just going to sit around and do nothing? Come on, take some action. Sorry, I am very impatient. We've got an Ace of Wands. We still have a Two of Swords. So they flip-flop like a hamburger on a grill between, I'm just going to go do it. I know I don't have everything that I should have to offer her, but I love her and I need to come forward. But not today. And then it's like, but I'm overwhelmed with this passion. It's like they almost take action and then they go, oh, but I don't think I should yet. I think I should probably hold back. And they keep second guessing themselves out of this. Okay, let's change this because I'm tired of the second guessing. So what's the advice for this person? I don't want to read any more about them sitting there flip-flopping like a hamburger. What is the thing that's going to push them to make the decision or do what needs to be done? What's the consideration in that? 10 of Wands in the reverse, Princess of Wands in the reverse, 8 of Wands in the reverse. You know, it's kind of crazy because they can sit here all day and not talk. And they can sit here all day and not make a move. And you know what? All it's going to do is going to keep them thinking about this nonstop and unable to fully release this. So they're not going to move forward at all until they go ahead and they change something. Because sitting here not talking, sitting here not making an offer is not allowing them to move on. The only way forward is for somebody to take the action that they keep, you know, like in their head, their heart keeps telling them to do this. So it's them holding themselves back. And that's exactly it. You hold yourself back, and where you're going to be exactly where you are. It's like if you sit in a chair and you go, I should get up and walk across the room and go get a glass of water. But, you know, maybe not, because then I'll lose my seat and somebody else could come take it. So I'll just sit here and be thirsty. Well, you know what? Your thirst won't be quenched then. So they can sit there and they can hold their chair, hold their spot. But what good is sitting in a spot if you're so uncomfortable that you're always thirsty and that's all you can think about? So that's kind of the thing. This person is probably going to have to get tired of their own thirst and finally get up and say, I got to go talk to her. And even if she turns me down, even if I lose my chair, at least I won't be thirsty anymore, because at least I will have tried to get up and walk across that room and go get the thing that every part of me is urged to do. Because otherwise I'm just going to keep sitting here and I'm going to stay uncomfortable. So that's it. Like their own discomfort is going to be their greatest motivator, is what it looks like. So does this person do that? Let's just ask that and then we'll wrap this up. 3 of Cups. Yeah. And, you know, I was using the idea of needing a beverage as the motivator here, because thirst is a pretty powerful motivator. And we even got 3 of Cups, right? This is a reunion. This is someone's willpower, right? That's the solar plexus chakra. So their willpower comes into play. So it's like at last their desire overwhelms their fears, is what it looks like. So kind of nice to see this finally comes back around, but my gosh, quite the story. As always, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for giving this video a thumbs up if you're here watching this. I appreciate you guys so much being a part of my world and my channel. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. As always, on this series, if you want to enter to win a free read, you can. You just have to be a subscriber, give this video a thumbs up, and write the word compassion in the comment section. I did not choose anybody last week, but I will be doing 2 this week so we get caught up. Okay. So, yeah, sorry. Sometimes my life gets busy and I just wasn't able to. I missed out on putting out a couple of these videos in the last few days. So anyway, you guys, super nice to see you. Good to see you guys. Optimus Prime. Dr. J. Young. Hello, hello. Noelani. Hi. Hi, Rashima. Van Panna. Hello. I'm delighted you stopped by. Hey, Patricia. Kay Kendall, Roberta. Thank you, guys. Hey, Jeremy. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful evening. I'm going to still go ahead and I'm going to do our next today's topic video. I'm going to put that one out at midnight. So we're back on track, and it'll be for the 20th. So this was for the 19th, and I'll do the one for the 20th, just so we don't miss so many days. I hate to get off track. The Virgo in me likes to keep my schedule. As always, guys, remember these are just stories, so have fun with them. Remember, I'm not a psychic. I don't tell you anything about how your life will go. Only you get to decide that. But I hope it's always fun to hang out, and maybe there's something inspirational. Thank you guys again for your patience while I was away. Bye for now.